Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So before starting the video, I would request you please subscribe to the channel. It takes a lot of hard work and effort to record such hands-on videos for you. Also, if you can see the time, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I am recording this video for you because I don't want my subscribers to keep waiting for videos, because I know that you people are following the videos and learning. So I want to make sure that you keep learning, okay? And I'm recording the video now, okay? So make sure to subscribe. That helps me a lot to keep working and keep making videos for you, okay? Also, if you have any doubt, queries, or if you need any kind of guidance or suggestions, you can just join my Telegram group, whose link will be in the description, okay? And or you can just directly connect to me on that, okay? Yeah. So coming to today's topic, so as discussed, what we are going to do today is, first of all, I will explain you about Jenkinsfile. Then I'll be explaining you about post notifications, okay? Basically, when, like, you can see, like, I have ran one job, okay? So let's assume that this job fails, okay? Fails or success. It's possible that some Jenkins job may run for hours. If there are very big job, they may run for hours. So in that case, we cannot always sit on the laptop to monitor, okay? So in that case, what we do incorporate that we add a specific post notification step in our pipeline. What it will do, it will send you notification whenever, like, pipeline is successful, failed, or any status or unstable, okay? In any situation, it will send you the mail, and over your mail in your phone or in your laptop, you can just see what is the status of the build that you ran, okay? And that is, even you can imagine how useful it will be. You are sitting at your home or like sitting somewhere else, and the job that you triggered, okay, you just received the status of that job, if it is successful or failed, okay? And what was the detail of, even you can like receive the console log of the job, okay? This, if I click on here, you can see this is the log of the like console log of the job, okay? This also we can receive on our mail, okay? So let me show you how we will configure that, okay? So first of all, you will go to, first of all, you should be on dashboard by default. Then you should click on manage Jenkins. Then you should click on this system, okay? So by default, basically there are two plugins which will be installed by default, okay? At this point, email extensions, so they are installed by default, okay? So go to system, or if you are using older version of Jenkins, it will be it will be configure system, okay? So now let's scroll down till we find the option email extensions, and we need to configure it, okay? We need to change certain things, okay? So if I scroll down, first we have extended email notification, and second option we have email notification, okay? They are kind of similar, but the only difference is that email notification is for like simple purpose. You can see like very basic options available for configuring, while if you go here into the option of extended email notification, here you see too many options, right? Okay, now the question is, how do we configure it, basically, right? Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to use our Gmail account for receiving the notifications, okay? So for SMTP, we need to provide the SMTP of Gmail account, Gmail basically, okay? So let me show you what we need to fill. So for this SMTP server for Gmail is this one, smtp.gmail.com, okay? So we will just copy this, paste it here. Then coming to SMTP port, okay? So usually, like in many companies, they keep the port as 25. By default, it's 25 only. But when you are using Gmail for getting your notification, then for Gmail server, the port is 465, okay? So if port is 465, you need to make sure that you have opened that port in your security group, okay? If I scroll down, we should be, as you can see, I have already opened this port, okay? Then only this will work. This you should remember, okay? So in place of SMTP port, we will put 465, fine. Then expand it, and here we can select the option use SSL. If I go here, you can see use SSL checked. So we need to make sure that we are using SSL, okay? This configured. Then scroll down, let me see. Okay, this is fine. Here also same thing, we will put smtp.gmail.com for Google Mail, okay? In advanced, we will check the SSL SMTP 465, okay? And let me check if anything else we are forgetting, okay? Okay, so one more configuration which I want to do is basically use this option, use SMTP authentication. So in place of username, we are going to put our email which we want to use for getting notification. So I will write jaswaladi246@gmail.com. Okay, now coming to password. So password is not the one that you don't need to type the password that you use to log in somewhere. Okay, basically what we are going to do, we are going to generate a specific password which will be known as app password. Okay, so for that what we will do, we will go on new tab, go here, click on manage your Google account, then scroll down to security, then click on two-step verification. Okay, now here we need to like log in by providing the password. So let me provide. So once you log in, scroll down and at the end you will see one option, app passwords. Click on it and you need to provide the name. Okay, app name. For me, I will just type Jenkins. Click on create. It will generate a password. Okay, which we are going to copy and we need to paste it. Okay, so this password we are going to paste inside this SMTP authentication. Okay, and quickly I will click on save. Okay, or save or apply. Now to test it, so let's provide the email that we want to test. I will put my own email, gmail, jaswaladi246@gmail.com, and yeah, let me check if everything is configured. Scroll up, SSL credentials, so and so fine. To me it seems fine, so let me just try to test it. Test configuration. If some issue is there, we will receive the okay, you can see here it says email was successfully sent. Okay, so let me try to open my. Okay, so here you can see we have received the email. That means ki email is working fine. Okay, now what we need to do is basically configure our pipeline so that we can get the status of our Jenkins job. Okay, so I will open this, scroll down, and let us configure our pipeline. Okay, so we will see post notifications basically are the post actions which are supposed to be performed at the end of the pipeline. Okay, so whatever code we need to use, we need to add it here. Okay, so let me show you what the code you can use. So I have written this small code. Basically what it does, first of all, it will always send the notification, always send the mail. It doesn't matter if job is success or fail or unstable, it will always send the notification. What will be the subject? Pipeline status, current build, and so results. Okay, then body will be containing build status, build number, and the console output, which we can just access by clicking on the URL. Okay, here you can configure where you want to receive the email and from which email ID you should receive. Okay, and you can see this is like properly formatted and everything. Okay, and don't worry, I will share this to you so you can also use it. Okay, coming back, so here we can quickly add it. Yeah, it is already added. Okay, same thing. Yeah, okay, so let me save this and let us try to build it now, and let's see what happens. Okay, some issue. So we are receiving some issue in the post. I think some bracket is missing or something. It is syntax based error. That's why it came very quickly. Let me just check it and let us fix it. Post always so 3 brackets close. Okay, yeah, let me fix it. Okay team, so as I told, this was issue with a number of brackets. Okay, so first thing that you need to understand, the stages that we opened here, it will be closing on the last stage. Okay, so I will put additional bracket here and let me remove this from here. Okay, and 3 brackets here, 3 here, additional 1, which is the closing of pipeline. Okay, so I think this should work. Let me just trigger it and let's see the status. And yes, the pipeline has started, so that's good. and let's see what happens now. This might take a little bit of time because we are running it second time. First time, yeah, only the OS dependency check stage takes time. That also for the first time only. Okay, because it needs to download lots of like information in its database. Okay, so let's wait for it. You can see all the other stages, they took like few seconds only. Yeah, so OS completed. Now it's in sonar stage. So now if I go back here, you can see our project also existing. That is good. Sonar completed, and it's now building the project. Also team, if you are new on the channel, make sure to subscribe. It really takes a lot of hard work and effort, and I have to stay awake like most of the night to make sure that I'm able to record videos for you. But yeah, I try to do it so that all of you can learn and all of you can grow and get a good job in DevOps section. DevOps sector basically, I mean to say. Okay, so Docker push, I guess, almost completed. And you can see declarative post actions. That is also completed, I guess. Let me open it and see the logs. Okay, error evaluating token. Following valid email address. Some issue is there. Okay, let us fix it. Okay team, so let me tell you what was the issue. Okay, if I open this job in new page, if I go to fifth one, okay, here if you see the error evaluating tokens. Okay, if you are thinking what exactly it's a token, these variables that we are using, build status, build number, build URL, these are actually tokens. Okay, so previously where I was using is the wrong tokens, current bin dot result so and so, which is not the default tokens that is available. Okay, by default Jenkins provides certain variables like build number, build status, like a build URL, which can be used in the place as variables. Okay, so what I did, I just removed these previous tokens, and I replaced it with my with the default variables. Okay, and the format that you should remember is $, curly braces, then build number, build status, whatever. Okay, this is the format, and in the same way I have just added it. Okay, let me copy the whole pipeline so that I can share it to you people also. Okay, yeah, now let me trigger it and then I will show you how does it look. I have triggered, and yeah, so let's see the status. Also team, yeah, if you are new on the channel, make sure to subscribe. Okay, let me see how much we have run. Unit test completed. OS dependency check running. See, actually I'm okay, let's wait for it to complete first, then I'll tell you what. It just take like few seconds only. Okay, once this part is completed, then I'll explain you the concept of Jenkinsfile, what exactly it is and why do we have it. Okay, also I hope you have understood how we are configuring the this whole thing, email notifications. Okay, one more thing which I want to show you. If I go to manage Jenkins system, scroll down to somewhere, email notifications, let me just check one time. Okay, here, so in credential, what I have added, same thing which we configured inside this section, username and password, same thing I have just added here in the format of username password. Okay, same thing you should do. Okay, so I guess pipeline is success. Okay, if I open this pipeline, go at the end, and you can see sending email to my email address. Okay, if I go to my email address, you can see pipeline status. This is the latest build. And okay, everything you are able to see very clearly we have received. Okay, one second, let me expand it. Yeah, see, whatever we configured, exactly proper format we have received. First of all, from which mail we are receiving, jenkins@example.com, which you can change as per whatever your requirement. You can change it. Okay, Secondly, we are receiving to our own emails, and then we can see build the name of the email will be pipeline status, then build number, whichever build we have triggered, that will be the subject. Okay, and then we have build status. If it is successful or failed, we will see here. Then build number, as you can see, it's 8. Then access to console output, so we can just click on this and this will open our console output. Okay, we want to see, we can just click on here and we can get the full log. Okay, so this is how you configure email notifications for your mail. Okay, and the best part, I am telling again, you can see very clear format we have received. Status of the build, if it is successful or not successful, build number, that is also the our subject line, then the our console output. Okay, if you want, like, see, as of now it's opening console output in a different page, right? If you want it to generate or like put that whole this console output in a text file and send the text file to mail, that also you can do, but that I will leave it to you so that you can just practice something. Okay, so this part done, right? Now let me explain to you what exactly is Jenkinsfile and how do we use it. Okay, so this is good. So if I go to configure pipeline again, scroll down. Okay, so one thing that you like very clearly you are noticing, we are writing the pipeline now inside the Jenkins, right? But as we move ahead in like DevOps, everything what we want, the main requirement, the priority is given that you should do everything through a managed file. Okay, when I say managed file, that means like through code, and that code also should be kept on repository side. Okay, that is the thing that is given to priority. Okay, so what we are going to do, what basically is Jenkinsfile, is we will copy this whole source code, and instead of storing it here, we will store in a separate file that will be kept on this repository location. Okay, and let me show you, because there is a like specific format for that file. Okay, so I will just copy the whole thing, cut it. Okay, and here you see this option inside pipeline, we have this option definition, right? So here we will click on pipeline script from SCM. Okay, when you select this option, that means it will select the pipeline from your Git repository. Okay, and now what we are going to do is provide the repository URL here. Okay, but before that, what I'm going to do, go to our pipeline, go to our GitHub repository, click on add new file and create a new file. Okay, now the format that you need to remember, J always capital, then Jenkinsfile. Okay, this you need to remember, no extension, nothing you need to write, and the source code that we have copied, we are going to paste it here. Okay, but one thing we need to remove, which will be this stage, right? Because this stage we don't need to use. So let me see, so I will cut it. Okay, and yeah, it's everything same code we have pasted here. The only thing that we did is remove the git stage, because obviously it's not required at this point. Okay, so once you have like saved it, okay, one thing that you need to remember first is the naming convention. File is always named Jenkinsfile, starting Jenkinsfile. After that, you can put anything like _1 or _Aditya, anything you want you can put, but initial will be Jenkinsfile. Okay, like for example, let's say I want to use multiple Jenkinsfile, I want to keep multiple versions of my pipeline. Okay, what we can do, we can just create multiple Jenkinsfile. For example, let's say this is the default Jenkinsfile, so let us commit and save this thing. Okay, Jenkinsfile we have saved. Now here we need to configure, right? So inside our pipeline, now what I'm going to do, first of all, you can see pipeline script from SCM we are using Git, obviously, repository URL, because our source code, our Jenkins file is on the repository, so we are going to copy the repository URL, paste it here. Okay, and credential is not required because it is public. If it was private, you need to set up a credential. Okay, and rest yeah, specific branch which we want to use. In our case, our source code is on master branch, right? And yeah, and that is all. Okay, one difference that I need you need to understand. For example, I have created one Jenkins file, right? Let me copy this complete thing. Let's say I want to keep multiple version of Jenkins file. Okay, what I will do, I will create another file, paste the content here. Okay, and this time naming will be Jenkins file 1. Okay, you see, as I told, if first word will be Jenkins file, after that you can add anything you want. Okay, right? So I have added this. Now I will click on commit changes. This is done. Now what we are having basically two versions of Jenkins file. This is the default one which we will use, and this is the second version. Okay, here whichever file, specific Jenkins file you want to use which contains the source code or the pipeline source code, you need to mention here script path. As of now it's on root directory, right? So I will just put here, in case let's say my Jenkins file is inside src, so I will write src/Jenkins file in this format. Okay, and yeah, click on save, right? And now click on build now, and status, you can see complete pipeline now getting started from scratch. Okay, see now also it's able to do everything. Okay, scroll down and it has started running all the commands and everything from scratch now. Okay, also, so Jenkins file, you got understood, it's nothing like very big topic, it's a small thing. It's simply we create a file with specific naming convention. Name will be Jenkins file. After that we can put anything, but by default it should be Jenkins file. Okay, and we paste the same source code that we have in our pipeline inside Jenkins. Okay, the main reason that it is done is to maintain multiple versions of source code first. Secondly, like you can directly edit the source code without going to Jenkins. Okay, so if you have configured webhooks, so, and if you are editing your Jenkins file, automatically it will start the this pipeline. Okay, so this is good, right? And okay, what else? Yeah, so for Jenkins file, yeah, it is done, right? One more concept I want to teach you today, which will be, I will just show you in a minute. Wait, let us see everything first. Okay, let us complete this thing. Yeah, declarative post actions. You can see whole thing, everything is same. Only difference is that now at this point we are keeping the pipeline script is not on Jenkins but on source code, right? Okay, one trick I want to teach you now. Let's say let's say you are working for some client and you do not have access to this source code. Okay, because you see the source code you don't have access, and you want to test something with Jenkins file, but since you do not have access to the repository, so you cannot edit something and test it. Okay, so in that case we have very interesting option. Let's say I want to test the build. What I will do, I will go and open the latest build, and on left side you see this option replay. Okay, so this will give you the access to the Jenkins file which is kept on repository which you don't have access. Now whatever I want to test something, I can just edit this file. Okay, edit this file and again I can run it. For example, as such, sorry, assets test or something, anything you can put here, Maven compile, let's say. Okay, and now if I run it, so actually I'm running the build number 9 only with different configuration this time. Okay, now the benefit you are seeing, first you got access to the pipeline script. Secondly, you are not causing any problem because you are literally running the 9th build only with different configuration. Okay, which is like giving the new name 10th. Okay, so this is one very interesting way which I wanted to tell you. Next thing what I wanted to teach you is about the multi-branch pipeline, which is a very interesting concept and is used on a very vast scope. Okay, so let me teach you, let it run. Okay, let's say like if you are working on a big project, multiple people could be working on that, and like there could be multiple branches also. For example, master, develop. Okay, then we could be having, for example, if I went to develop, you see there is no Jenkins file here. Okay, so what I will do, I will, let's say I will create a new branch. Okay, let's say I'm creating feature slash add button. Okay, this is some developer is there who is working on this on a new feature branch. Okay, one second, let me go to master branch, and from master branch I want to create. So what I will do, I will create a new branch from master. Okay, and let's say like there are multiple team members and everyone has their own task. Okay, I want to test by adding a new button to the project. Okay, and let's say there is some other person who is also working, and their task is to let's say they are working on a feature which is feature slash add underscore image. Their task is to add specific image. Okay, So at this point, what is happening? There are three people, let's say three students or three developers are they are working. One is like adding the button, one is adding the image, and one is the working with the production environment. Okay. So okay, the main difference between all these branches, first of all, these feature branches, they are having the Jenkins file. Okay, they are having Jenkins file, but the develop branch is not having Jenkins file. Okay, so what I wanted to teach you is basically there is a concept of multi-branch pipeline, which will let you enable multiple Jenkins job for all the separate branches, one single job for each branch. Okay, so that every developer can test their source code key. Okay, if they added the source code for adding button, right? So they want to test like how it will work if I enable this and run it on the deploy it on the server. Okay, so how do we test it? Basically, obviously they need to run that with the Jenkins. Okay, so how do they do that? So for that we are having a multi-branch pipeline, using which basically we can create like multi-branch pipeline job. What it will do, it will create one Jenkins job for each branch. Let me show you that, like it will be more clear through demo. Okay, so let's create new item. Let's say mp underscore Santa, multi-branch pipeline Santa. Okay, an option you will select this option, multi-branch pipeline, select it. Okay, now here you can see the option branch sources. So we are going to select git project repository. So let us copy the repository URL, paste it here, then credentials. Since it is public, so we don't need to provide credential. Okay, now discover branches. Okay, and you can see here we don't need to change, like if you want to use specific branches, for example like discover tab, filter by name, so and so, that you can decide. But by default I want just like for every branch I want to create Jenkins job. Okay, and here you need to define key which Jenkins file should be used by the name, then the path of Jenkins file. Okay, next what you need, or what I will be doing is simply clicking on apply. Okay, now you see the magic. You can see here automatically 3 Jenkins job got created: master, feature / add image, feature / add button. Okay, but you see that there was no job created for develop branch. You know why? Because there is no Jenkins file inside it. Basically, when you create a multi-branch pipeline and connect to a repository, so it will first search which branch is having a Jenkins file. If the branch is not having Jenkins file, then for that branch there won't be any new Jenkins job created. Okay, but if a branch is having Jenkins file, then it will create the Jenkins job for it. Okay, now the benefit of it, like each developer can test their source code through a separate branch. Okay, separate Jenkins job they can check, they can test their source code. Okay, and this is the way, like in companies when you are having like multiple environments, QA, dev, PPD, production, okay, DR, disaster recovery. So in that what they do, they will just create they will use multi-branch pipeline, and that will create multiple Jenkins job for each branch. Okay, so for example like you want to deploy your source code to QA branch, so you can simply trigger the QA branch which will be using the source code of QA. Okay, and this is like really beneficial. Okay, also Jenkins file you got to understand, multi-branch pipeline you understand, right? Now there is another name for Jenkins file which is known as pipeline as code, and you can even understand why they are calling it pipeline as code, because Jenkins file, it is actually this script only kept in separate file. Okay, and we are keeping it as a separate code inside our repository, that's why it's called pipeline as code. Okay, okay, and you can see all these jobs are basically running, and this will take some time. But see, now the thing that you need to understand is we can create a separate group, and that group will contain different multiple jobs of our repository. Okay, for every single branch there will be a job. So whichever branch contains Jenkins file, as I told, Jenkins will search for Jenkins file. Whichever branch is having Jenkins file, it will create a Jenkins job for it. You can see branches 3. Okay, yeah team, so it's almost 4 a.m. in the morning, and yeah, I hope this video was useful. Okay, so make sure to give it a like. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day.